Welcome back in, and man, got a fun one for you today. You know what it is. We got Pickem, NFL bets, college football bets to talk about. Won't lie to you, my college bet, college slate, really tiny. I don't got a lot of college bets for you today. It's kind of a quieter weekend in college football. Just there's some good games, but just not a lot of good. No, I mean, let's be honest. I don't even lie to you either. Not the best of games this weekend. There's a few good games here and there. Obviously, there's a few games that will matter for playoff implications, but for the most part, kind of a quiet weekend in the college world. Obviously, in the NFL world, we got a good amount going on, but yeah, overall going to be a probably smaller slate week. Don't got too much for you, like I said, in college. NFL, kind of so-so in a lot of these games, so we'll have to see a lot of teasable games potentially. So yeah, without any further ado, I think we should go on head over to the Pick'em board. So as you can see from last week, almost had a good week. If I had to fix anything, let's see. I don't think it would have mattered. 5 points more. Yeah, it would have tied me for third. I would say, if anything, maybe flip my New York and Chicago picks because we talked about it. I kind of felt like the other teams were going to win. Probably should have flipped my Atlanta pick. I mean, we already bet on the Saints. We gave out the Saints. I just should have bet. Let's be real. I should have just bet them at that point. Not too shocking. Commanders lost. Jets losing just sucks. I mean, that's not surprising. We put a 1 in that for a reason. And shout out Seattle. Or not Seattle, excuse me, Miami. Miami just dominated the Rams the last game. So, yeah, overall, not horrible. It just sucked. I mean, we got ahead of a few of the people we needed to, but not everybody. And even then, not by as many points as I would like, but overall not horrible. So, putting us on the season still. Now we're in 8th, actually, not 9th, excuse me. But still got a long road to climb to third place. I mean, we're looking at 34 points to get into third. But we're, like I said, we got a few weeks left, I think. Week 11, so we got 7 weeks left. About 5-6 points a week will definitely be doable. Hopefully we can get in the podium because, like I said, first is starting to look. I mean, 53 points ain't nothing. I mean, it's going to be a tight race to the finish. Your boy just needs to get his shit together. So, without any further ado, we'll start going over picks. Philadelphia, Washington. This is actually a really tough one. I think Washington might bounce back in this game. This is going to be a low pointer for me overall because these Thursday night games are just wild. But I think Washington has a little bit of bounce back here. But the Eagles have looked so good these last few games. Like, even with how loud the crowd's been, even with how loud it's been about Nick Sirianni and everything, Eagles they've been a really solid football team. New offensive coordinator for the Bears. That's going to be interesting what happens in this game. I obviously think Green Bay is going to win it, but I'm very curious to see how Chicago looks under the new offensive coordinator. If the old one was still there and Shane Waldron would have been a lot of points instead. This is going to be a interesting watch for sure. Because, yeah, I don't think the Bears are going to win this, but they might be able to make this a little bit close. Detroit, Jacksonville, I mean, that feels... I think this is the first time ever in the history of me doing this show that we have 100-0. I have never seen this before. First time in history, 100-0. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is not starting again this week. It's Mac Jones. I mean, shit, let's just get this out of the way then. That is insane. 100-0. I mean, I don't think I got to say any more. But yeah, no, I don't think the Jags, they might keep it close because obviously they are an NFL team. So this might be a little bit closer than we think. But overall, I think Detroit's going to, I mean, if they're able to come back like they did against the Texans, I don't know how they're supposed to play against Jacksonville. I don't think it's going to be rough. This game could potentially get, especially like I said, with no Trevor Lawrence, might get ugly. Minnesota, Tennessee. Gotta give me Minnesota here. They played really horrible, though, and Tennessee is better than Jacksonville. So Minnesota's really going to have to wake up this week. Hopefully, last week was a bit of a wake-up call, and they performed a little bit better on offense. Defensively, they did pretty good. But they, like I said, they definitely could have lost that game. Just, man, they put up 12 points in offense. Sam Darnold looked awful. They should probably have a bounce back. Miami, Vegas. We're going to go Miami. Miami looked good. I won't be shocked if Miami loses this game, especially after last week. This would scream a Miami. This would scream a Miami Dolphins if they win last week when they shouldn't, and then they come into this week and they just kind of blow it and don't look the best. But I will say, Raiders this week. I think it's Panthers or Patriots next week. Miami, all of a sudden, watch out. Might be, I think that's 5-6, because I think they're 3-6 now. They win these next 2 games. All of a sudden, they're 5-6, and it's like, whoa, where the hell did they come from? But yeah, Miami, Vegas overall. I mean, Vegas is just, they ain't too good this year. With the bye, though, I will give them that. With the bye, I think they'll make this game a little bit closer. But yeah, until they get some better quarterback play and some better game management in general, I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to beat them Dolphins. But yet again, Mike McDaniel himself has been questionable with some of that stuff. Rams, New England. We got to take Rams here. especially since New England won last week and the Rams lost. I was already probably going to be on Rams, but regardless, this is going to be interesting, though. New England's defense, pretty good, so the Rams are going to have to actually finish some drives, not just kick field goals again, or... Man, the Patriots' offense is pretty bad, though. But Drake May, we'll have to see. He can put some stuff together here and there. After watching the Rams on Monday night, it just feels like they have to play a way better game than they just did, right? New Orleans, Cleveland. Jameis coming back to play in the Superdome. That's probably going to be a low pointer for me, but I'm very excited about that. I think that that's going to be a fun game. Probably be a sneaky fun game. I'm excited to see how Darren Rizzi does in his second game. Because I won't lie, they definitely escaped by the skin of their teeth, as some say, in that last game. I mean, they felt like the Falcons, it took like a lot of missed kicks, and the Falcons just not having enough timeouts to be able to win it. I mean, obviously a win's still a win, though. I'm not going to take that away from him, but with how last game went, I am very, very curious to see how the second game goes. There's usually a drop-off, too. With new coach theory, usually in the second, third, fourth games, you see some drop-offs, and it doesn't nearly look as clean. Very curious to see. I feel like this could be a potentially different situation a little bit, but overall, this is going to be a close game. I'm not going to put a lot of points on this one. AR's back, so we got to do it. Hopefully he brings some new life back into the Colts. Jets, they are going to give up the rushing lanes. Who was that? A few weeks ago, I can't remember who they gave up all the damn rushing lanes to. It was some quarterback who was able to move a little bit. AR is able to move a lot, so if the play calling can get to a decent spot, I think there's going to be a lot of chances for AR to run. Was it the I don't think it was Texans. Yeah, because it wasn't Thursday night. Was it the Bills? I don't think it was the Bills. I can't remember at this point. It must have been a while then. But there's a quarterback that ran all over the Jets. And... Oh, was it Drake May, maybe? Yeah, I think that's who it was. Drake May in this game. 3 for 46. He only had 3 rushes for 46 yards. There was a lot of open lanes and everything. The defensive... I'm not going to say integrity. That's probably not... Discipline. That's probably a better word. The defensive discipline... It's been a little bit questionable since Salah's been let go. So I'm going to keep an eye on them Jets there. But we aren't going to put a big point on this. It's probably going to be, if anything, like my 1-2 pointer of the week. Get right back on track, Colts. I'm excited to see how they bounce back. I am very excited to watch AR, especially with Joe Flacco. He's played not the best these last 2 games. So it's like, all right, let's see how much hunger AR has now. Let's see the bounce back. Very excited for that one. Baltimore-Pittsburgh. This is going to be an amazing game. Another low pointer for me because I genuinely think Pittsburgh might be able to win this. Especially now that their offense is able to have them deep. They have the deep threat ability with Russell Wilson. They can run the ball like normal, and they got some good receivers, and they got a good tight end. I mean, I haven't even got to the defense yet either. Yeah, this team is going to be... That's a good-ass team, dude, but what's crazy you talk about that, then you look at the Ravens, and it's like, oh, they're pretty good, too. But, yeah, they can be sneaky bad in the pass game, so I'm very curious to see how Russ is able to attack that. Curious to see how Mike Evans and George Pickens do as well. Very excited. Going to be a fun one. Division battles, too. I mean, I think it's better than that. Denver, Atlanta. Ooh. I actually don't know for this game. We're going to come back to that one. I forgot. That's one of the few games I've been struggling with. Seattle, San Francisco. Got to take San Fran here. Game should have been a lot more. They should have been up a lot more last week because of all those missed kicks, though. They were not. So score looks a little bit misleading. Slightly. I think another week of McCaffrey being healthy, they might be able to get a little bit more out of him. Very curious. I've said curious a lot today. We're going to try a different word. I'm intrigued. I've done that a lot as well, but no. This game should be an interesting game for sure. Seattle, they're just one of them teams. One day they show up, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. The other day they show up, they just can't get anything done in the trenches, and they struggle to... Geno turns it over a lot. I mean, it's just very, very wishy-washy with them, so I'm very curious to see which Seattle team we get on Sunday because, like I said, they are either one of the best teams in the NFL or they are about middle average of the pack. Until Kansas City loses, I have to take them. Maybe this should be my 1-point game. We're going to do we're going to flip that. I know they came off a kind of horrible offensive game last game, but that felt more of a Denver defense and a divisional battle game thing than more of a Chiefs thing. Fun battle here between, man. Chiefs-Buffalo seems to be good every time they meet up. I'm trying to, let me look up some. Let me look up Chiefs Buffalo. I want to see what their last 2 games have been. Probably should have looked this up beforehand. I didn't even think about that because this wasn't originally something I was going to bring up. But, oh, nice. I have to type an extra word. Alright, so looking back the last, we'll just look like the last 5 games. So, wait, what? Are you serious? Oh my, alright, Google's just not gonna work, is it? Yeah, there's a chance that we might have to just not look this up, because, yep, alright, shocker. Alright, here we go, finally worked. We're looking at scores of 17-20. I think, who won this? Chiefs won that one. 17-20, 20-24, 20-38, 26-17, 10-16. That's going back to all the way to 2017. But yeah, basically in this little 2020 to 2023 run, you're looking at 26-17, 20-38, 20-24, and 17-20. I mean, this is probably going to be a good game. Feels like the Bills are due to get a win, though, but at the same time, the Chiefs are blocking field goals at the 35 to win a game. I can't pick against the Chiefs. Let's just keep it that simple. Chargers, Cincinnati. I'm going to take Chargers. I just love the Chargers. I got to take the Chargers here. Bengals. This is going to be a low pointer for me as well because I feel like the Bengals might actually win this game. That's a Sunday night game. That's going to be awesome. I truly don't know. I don't know in that game. That's going to be, by the way, Houston over Dallas. Yeah. Especially with how much Dallas is struggling. Joe Mixon probably going to run wild in that game if I had to guess. Going back to Chargers, Cincinnati. And then we have one more other game to talk about, Denver, Atlanta. Man, you want to talk about, we got some bangers. Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Kansas City Chiefs leading up to Chargers, Cincinnati. Woo! We're probably just going to take Denver. Damn it. Oh. I don't think I can do it. I kind of want to take Atlanta, but I don't think I can do it. Especially with how good Denver's defense is playing. It just feels like this is a bit of an overreaction. They didn't just hold the Chiefs to 14 points, 16 points, yeah. Ooh. Yeah, we're just going to go low points on Denver, and I'll probably end up maybe betting Atlanta. I got to see the number again. I can't fully remember. 24, we'll go. I don't know how they're going to score points. We'll go 24-14, and then for Indy, New York Jets, we'll go 21-20. We'll just keep that low score. And who's going to score the most points this week? Probably Detroit, because, yeah, they might get a lot of extra possessions in the game. Who's going to score the least? We're looking for just some of these great defenses. Probably going to score the least. We'll go Dallas. Why not? All right, sweet. So we got that. Now we just got to assign some numbers. Let me find. So where would I put my 13? Oh, this is going to hurt if Miami loses this game. But they're home for Vegas. Miami has no reason to lose this game. They really shouldn't. They looked really impressive last week against the Rams as well. So it's like, all right, if they're going to be like that with Tua back, and if the defense is going to play like that, then I can for sure get behind that. We'll put a 12 on Minnesota. If they lose to Tennessee, I'm going to be so distraught. That's going to be, hopefully Brian Flores is going to cook something up nice for Will Levis. Green Bay against Chicago, we'll make that a 10 just because. We'll make that a 9 just because. This game is probably going to be a 3. We'll make that low. Because, like I said, I'm torn between both those squads. So we got 4 through 8 and then 10, 11. So Cincinnati, that probably. The Rams are kind of poopy, but they have no reason to lose that game, you would think. I might actually switch that, just go 10. I don't want to put up 11 on them, actually. I'm going to go 8 there. Ooh. Oh, man, I messed up, actually. Let me actually flip this. Let me just go. We're going to bump everyone down 1. That feels a lot better. I look down at the bottom. I'm like, wait, I haven't even picked a number on Houston, Dallas. I kind of also gave my breakdowns a little bit while going to the NFL. So while we give out bets for the NFL, that's going to be a lot smoother. Hey, we might have like a 35 to 40-minute episode, 7 hour. Oh, yeah. So we got 4 through 7 left. We'll just throw a 4 here. That might change. That's for sure going to change. So we'll actually go 4, 5. Actually, we'll go 5 there. 7. Oh, that feels so ugly. And we'll put a 5 there. 4 there. Can I? You know what? I don't think I can do it. We might just leave the 6 on. Yeah, we'll do that. That works for me because I was about to say I was going to move it again, but like, man, I don't think I can get myself to do that. So that's what we're looking at for picks-wise for this week. One's on favorite. Obviously, the Detroit one I feel pretty good about because Detroit against Jacksonville, I think we all know how that game should go. And then, man, Detroit plays the Colts next week. Man, I do hope they kind of roll them because then maybe they'll come up against the Colts and they'll be a little tired because they played too hard against the Jaguars. No, man, that's going to be a tough one next week. But, yeah, I like the Detroit-Houston ones the most. A little bit scared. A lot of my low numbers I am scared of this week. Like the one on the Colts. You know what? We're going to leave it. I almost wanted to pick the Jets, but, I mean, we got to start. It's starting to get to that point. I mean, we're in 8th place. I mean, we got to start stealing points somewhere at some point, right? So, I'm going to leave the Colts with the 1. A little bit nervous by some of the other these, but, yeah. Maybe I will do one change, and it's not too big of a change. I'm actually going to put 4 in Kansas City. We'll just bump everybody. We'll actually do that. I'm actually totally okay with flipping that because I'd rather have the bigger number on the Chiefs who have won all the games and then just, yeah, because that game I'm truly a little bit mixed on. But yeah, like that for the picks. I will see everybody back on the gridiron for the finalizing of the NFL breakdowns and then my very few college bets. So, we got some NFL bets for you. But you got to keep this, like I said, prop-wise, you know how it works. Check out Straight On Sports. I actually have to crunch some numbers on props. I've been a little bit behind this week, so I just know kind of what I'm leaning towards, not what the actual numbers are and everything just yet, so shit, we got some college numbers moving too. That ain't good. That ain't good, boy. But yeah, first game, Eagles, Commanders -3 or +3.5. We're actually going to do that. Commanders +3.5 just because I like for this game to be a field goal game. And I like that we got that hook there. The biggest thing I like is that hook there. The fact that hook's there is very good. Sorry, I'm getting my phone blown up by family, so it's kind of got me sidetracked. Touchdown-wise, you know how we go? We're going to go the trifecta. Saquon, Hurts, A.J. Brown. I believe Hurts only scored for us last week, so we basically broke even. But I like for at least two of the three of these guys to score at least. I'm assuming because it's a quick turnaround, we aren't going to see Brian Robinson. He wasn't ready to go on Sunday. And just looking at props right now, I don't know if he's going to be ready to go. Robinson hamstring was listed as limited. So, yeah, he was limited. He plays Thursday. That's tough as a guy who has him in fantasy as well. Shit. So, if that's the case, I do kind of like Eckler to score. So, but if not, I like Brian Robinson. So, we're going to do Eckler or Robinson. That's what I like touchdown-wise. Passing prop-wise, I think we're probably going to stay away from that. Both quarterbacks are over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Tempting, but nothing really screams out to me there. Saquon over 13.5 receiving is tempting. We're going to write that in red. So we're going to do that. We might take Terry McLaurin's over as well. That's one that is very tempting. Let me see what his stats have been. Sorry, this was the one game I always forget. I forget every single week that they actually get the stats out early in this one. So yeah, Terry's looking at last few games, going back to October 13th, 6 for 53, 6 for 98, 5 for 125, 2 for 19 against the Giants, and he was 5 for 113. So I think we'll take the 60. So yeah, we'll take, what's his receptions at? 4.5 is a great number as well. So yep, give me Scary Terry's over at receiving at 60.5. And his over receptions at 4.5. One of those might end up in the nasty boy. But yeah, that's probably where I'll leave it for that. Rushing wise, 92 for Saquon, 38 for Hurts. We'll probably just stick with the Hurts rushing touchdown, leave it at that. Lions, 13.5 point favorites over the Jags. So many points. I don't know if I might let. It's an NFL team. Do I really want to lay them? Well, I'll lay them. Why not? Lions minus. We might not lay them. I don't know. I'm torn. We'll write it in red, but I don't know. I'm gonna think about it for another day or two. Lions. So we like Lions minus 13.5. I also like the Gibbs TD. I like his rush over because it's probably going to be about in the 60-ish range, which, if that is, I love it in the 60s. When it starts getting to 70s and 80s, that's when we're going to be like, okay, we might need to hold off. So we got Gibbs TD. We got Gibbs rush over. We got Monty TD because we like to split those. And you know what? We're going to go back to the well with an Amon-Ra. We're going to do another 3-pack with another team. Just for the fact, I'm doing a TD for Amon-Ra because he's on that streak, so I'm curious for how long they hold the streak. So we're going to ride the streak out until it ends, and then we're going to reevaluate the situation. Packers, 5.5 point favorites over the Bears. No thank you. I'll just wait to catch it live. Hope the Bears score first or something with a new offensive coordinator, and then get the Packers at a better number. Guys that look at the score in that game will probably be Bears. Cole Kmet. I'll just pick a random guy because I don't know what the hell their new offense is going to look like. Packers. Their offense is too wild. Probably just stick with Josh Jacobs. But yeah, this is a game I'm probably just going to maybe, like I said, it's probably going to be a live bet for me. I don't think I want to take anything pre-game in this. Rams, minus 4.5 point favorites over the Patriots. No thank you, especially after they lost the last game. I do think they're going to win, but I just don't want to take the 4.5. Looking back, by the way, at the over in the Packers-Bears, over 40.5. Tempting. Very, very tempting in that. Over 46.5, Lions-Jags. Meh. I don't know. I just don't know how much the Jags are going to score. And then we aren't going to take the over in the Commanders-Eagles. That's at 48.5. Thursday Night Football. No reason taking over, especially because they seem unpredictable. But it is tempting. Anyway, though, moving on. We are at Rams, like I said, 4.5. I don't know. This team's just been weird lately. They scored no touchdowns, so I'm kind of frustrated with them with that. Anybody for the Patriots who might go back to the Ramondre Stevenson well. We're going to write that in red just because he gets goal line carries. So basically we're hoping for goal line carries and give them to Stevenson. If not, I mean, neither of these teams are really fun to root for betting-wise because they just, between the Rams, if you bet on the Rams, it's either Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua, and you got to pray that's your guy's week. I think last week was more of the Cooper Kupp than the Nacua week. They both went off. Week before that, Cooper got like nothing. Puka got it all. Then the ejection week, Puka got nothing. Cooper, I mean, it's just, I don't think I want to play that game. And like I said, especially the fact that I can't see the numbers right now in this book, I already wasn't into taking too much. Oh, well, this is pretty funny. Brian Robinson will play. Because Brian Robinson was a limited, by the way, participant in the practice report yesterday. I forgot that was yesterday. So for today, Brian Robinson, full practice. Great sign, so we're going to take Brian Robinson, anytime touchdown. Browns, 1.5 point favorites over the Saints. Saints money line in red? Yeah, I don't know in this game either. We'll probably take some Alvin Kamara stuff, look for his reception over. So yeah, like I said, Kamara reception over. Maybe we do him to score a touchdown as well. Past that, though, I really don't have an interest in betting either of these games. I do think Jameis revenge game, though. I'll probably take Jameis over 1.5 passing touchdown. Just for, I'm assuming that will be plus money. And like I said, revenge game touchdown. I might even do it. You know what? We're going to get nasty with it. We're going to do Jameis Winston anytime touchdown, just for the fact maybe he gets a QB sneak score. That's absolutely disgusting, though, so I'm only... Yeah, that's absolutely disgusting. If anything, like I said, we're going to do the Kamara receptions over, receiving yards, mixing a touchdown, and then just Jameis over 1.5 passing touchdowns potentially. Vikings, 5.5 point favorites over the Titans. I will take it. I'm assuming the Vikings will have a bit of a bounce back, and if they don't, then we are going to just probably stay away from Viking game for a minute. But Vikings by 5.5. I think they can win this game by a touchdown. They should win this game by a touchdown. Especially defensively, if the blitz and everything is able to affect Will Levis, if Brian Flores is able to cook it up like he has been able to these last few games, then I just don't see how the Titans are going to be able to score enough points. And it just all comes down to the Vikings. Can they finish these red zone drives? Can they actually finish drives in general and get more than just field goals out of it? If they can, 5.5 shouldn't be a problem. You know where we're going, man. Colts plus 3.5. I just think they will keep this within a field goal. The more I think about it, I probably should pick the Jets, but I just can't do it and pick them. I'm riding with the Colts. We're going to die with the Colts, man. AR is going to be back. Very excited to see how he does. I think he will have a rushing touchdown. So we're going to take AR's rush yards and TD. I think he has a bit of a bounce-back game. We're going to take Jonathan Taylor's rush yards and TD. And you know how this... what do we want to pick this week? Do we think it's Breece Hall that's going to go off, or do we think it's going to be DeAndre Hopkins? Or Garrett Wilson. So we're going to do Breece Hall's over, or, big or, Wilson and Adams over. So I'll probably, if I do anything, I'll probably bet either Breece Hall's over, rushing over. I'm going to bet both Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams receiving overs. I'm assuming that one of those are going to sail by a mile, and one of the other three probably hits. Third one maybe doesn't. It's just, we talked about this a few weeks ago. The Colts either get ran all over. Last week, the run is what killed them. They gave up a lot of rush. They basically gave up to the Bills. They gave up a shit ton of rushing yards because they had no receivers. But last week was the first week, and where it was like kind of at least even, to where it's like, all right, James Cook only rushed for 80 yards, not 100 this week. So, right. Anyway, Colts plus 3.5. Like I said, we're going to go AR rushing yards and Jonathan Taylor rushing yards. Both those guys score rushing touchdowns. And then we're also going to go Breece Hall's rushing over, or we're going to go Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams receiving over. It's whatever poison you like. I'll probably end up betting all this, but if you like one or the other, just know the Colts are going to give up something. I don't know if it's a pass or run this week. I couldn't tell you. Dolphins, 7.5 point favorites over the Raiders. Perfect teaser team. Speaking of, quick teaser, Colts, Dolphins. Might not be a bad team. You get Colts 10.5. You get Dolphins to basically 1.5. Maybe throw in the Lions in there too. Get them that'd be 7.5. That'd be a little bit gross. Throw in the Commanders, get them to 10.5. Like, that's probably something I'm going to do. Throw a few little dogs in the parlay and then get Dolphins in there. But yeah, Dolphins 7.5. I don't even want anything in this. I don't want to take any of their props either besides Achane. Achane lost us the hook yesterday on his reception over. On Monday, depressing. So we're going to go J-Chan. Achane's, we're going to do receiving yards over and rush over. No, we aren't. We're just going to do receiving yards over and reception. Sorry. Receiving yards over and receptions over. Because, like I said, I think he will get decently involved. I'm going to look for... I'm not going to bet it, but I'm going to be interested to see how Tyreek Hill looks. He just doesn't seem right fully. And Jonnu Smith, that might be another guy to keep an eye on. Especially if... this will be a live bet situation. How about that? That's probably the best way. Look at some game reports, and if you feel like Tyreek Hill's kind of hurt and you don't need to know anymore, bet on Jonnu Smith and some of his yardage and everything. If Tyreek Hill does playing, maybe you watch first two series live and be like, okay, let's see how involved he is. All right, let me go on Jonnu Smith. Oh, never mind, let me go on Tyreek Hill. I don't know, though. It's tough for me. I really can't decide between either of those two, so I'm going to just probably take the HN receiving over, like I said, and take his receiving receptions over as well. And probably I'm not going to take Dolphins -7. I think they can win this, but I just don't even want to bet them at that. Ravens -3, Steelers at 3. If this gets to 3.5, I will take the Steelers, potentially keep it close. But I'm going to bet on Derrick Henry in this game. Look for some Derrick Henry stats. Henry, especially to score a touchdown, we're going to do that. Jaylen Warren's been getting a few carries, so that screws some of that stuff up. So we're going to do Mike Williams or Pickens. We're going to do one of their receiving overs. I just want to see what the numbers are. Probably do Pickens. And we're going to do, I got a rec over and longest reception, if it's reasonable. If it's like I said, if it's under like 23, 24 for both those guys, I might take it because they are deep play threats. If it's not, probably not really interested in taking it. Might just leave it be and just watch it. This might be, like I said, another game to bet live. But I will say the Steelers special is in play. I forgot to write it down. Let me write it down in all caps. Remember this week. Steelers special. So it's Ravens to win the first half, Steelers to win at the end of regulation. That's probably going to be some amazing odds. I can't even remember where I find that at. I think it's I think it's in parlays. So if I can't find this in like 30 seconds, we'll talk about it later. It might be in same game parlay actually. The more I think about it, if they even have it up yet, they might not. There's a good first half end of regulation in there. So if you got Baltimore Ravens to win the first half, and then Pittsburgh Steelers to win plus 950. That's, I think, going to be my hedge. I'll take Ravens. You know what? That's actually what we're going to do. We're going to hedge this game. We're going to take Ravens minus 3.5. Sorry, Ravens minus 3. Ravens minus 3. We're going to take Ravens minus 3, and we're going to take the Steelers special. So we get the Ravens minus 3 at minus 110. We get the Steelers special at plus 950 because I don't think the Steelers, they've proven it. They are a second-half team. So, yeah, I think we like that there. 49ers, 6.5-point favorites over the Seahawks. This is going to be that's an easy teaser game for me. I'm just going to tease it. Probably not take the Niners. Over 48.5, tempting. You know what? We will take that. So we're going to take the game over 48. So we're going to take over 48.5 and the 49ers, Seahawks. We're going to take that over. And, yeah, past that, we'll probably take some CMC stuff. Like CMC to score. Probably take some of his rushing stuff. Rushing and receiving stuff. I don't know. I don't want to really take too much in this game because these are two teams that I just haven't fully figured out prop-wise. So, not going to do too much there. Falcons, Broncos. This is just a complete stay away from me. Minus 2.5. Fishy. If it gets to 3.5, I'm taking the Falcons. But past that, I just don't. Not really too much I want to bet in this game. Chiefs plus 2.5. We will be taking that. Chiefs at plus money just feels, I'm not going to say automatic, but because it's not. But the fact that it is plus money, I do love it. I think it's a bit of an overreaction to last week where the Bills looked really, really good against the Colts, and the Chiefs struggled against a really good defense against a division foe. They always seem to beat the Bills, too, when they play. Especially, obviously, when it matters in the playoffs. Regular season, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bills finally were able to get some magic back, but I like the Chiefs to score. We're going to go Kareem Hunt, TD. We're going to go Kareem Hunt, D-Hop. Kareem Hunt, D-Hop. We'll go James Cook or Josh Allen. I don't know who I want to do there. We'll do James Cook. James Cook. And then maybe we'll just do both because I don't know really receiver-wise who I like. So we'll just do both of those guys, Cook and Allen both. We'll just try to split that in the run game because I don't know who he's going to do passing-wise. Chargers, 1.5-point favorites over the Bengals. We're going to take the Chargers money line at minus 126 just for the fact that I do like the Chargers. And hopefully if I can get the Bengals at like plus 3.5, plus 7.5 during the game, that would be what I'm going to look for. But, man, Sunday Night Football, this is going to be awesome. Just who do I – do you want to go Ladd McConkey or Quentin Johnson? I think one of those guys are for sure going to score. I haven't been able to figure it out. I've been battling with it all week. Quentin Johnson scored last week. So it's like, oh, there's nobody who scores twice in a week, right? And it's like, well, he's been scoring in a decent amount of these games now all of a sudden. So it's like, I don't know. We're going to have to obviously see some receiving props before I fully decide on these guys. But for right now, I for sure like the Chargers money line. And then past that, like I said, Ladd McConkey or Quentin Johnson. And then if we're going to pick anybody from the Bengals, we're going to go Chase Brown and Jamar Chase. Those just seem like the most solid two options between anyone on the Bengals. Because past that, I mean, if T. Higgins plays, it's obviously he's always in question. He's a good option as well. But past that, I mean, you can pick any tight end you want. Andre Yosevas, he might score this week. Or, hey, it might be Trenton Irwin the next week. Like, I don't know. Once you start getting down the roster a little bit, it's like, I don't fully know. And then Texans, I'll take the Texans minus 7.5. Hopefully this drops to minus 7, which if it does would be awesome. Texans haven't scored in the second half in 5 or 6 games. I think this is something they need to get fixed because obviously this is going to become a big issue down the line. And, yeah, they just need to figure out how to score in the second half. They should have beat the Lions, and they don't because they can't score in the second half. I like Joe Mixon's rushing over. I like Joe Mixon to score a rushing touchdown. I might even like him to score 2 of them things. So we're going to go Joe Mixon rush over TD and 2 times TD. I'll give out 2 times TD. Why not? I think he can score twice this week. Nico Collins, if he comes back, I like Nico Collins' stats as well because they're probably going to want to get him going. I just don't know fully if he's going to come back this week or not. He's kind of a late scratch Monday. So I don't know if that was a scratch where it's like, sorry, Sunday, I believe. Yeah, late scratch Sunday, where it's like, all right, we got a Monday night game next week. Let's just give them the extra day of rest. Like, I don't know if it's one of those situations or whatnot, but yeah, regardless, I do like the Texans in that game. So quickly to go over all my bets, we got 3 maybes. Saquon over 13.5 receiving yards is a maybe. Lions minus 13.5 is a maybe. Ramondre Stevenson, anytime touchdown, is a maybe. Saints money line is a maybe. Now, the official bets for Week 10 of the NFL. We got for you Commanders plus 3.5. Saquon Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and A.J. Brown anytime touchdowns. Brian Robinson or Austin Eckler anytime touchdown, whoever you like between the two. We got scary Terry McLaurin over 16.5 receiving yards and over 4.5 receptions. We got Jahmyr Gibbs anytime touchdown, Jahmyr Gibbs rushing over, Monty anytime touchdown, or Amon-Ra anytime touchdown. Like I said, we're going to ride the Amon-Ra streak as long as we can until he doesn't score anymore. Alvin Kamara receiving over and touchdown. We're going to do Jameis Winston over 1.5 passing touchdown. And you know what? We're going to get nasty with it. Jameis Winston anytime touchdown. Give him a QB sneak against the former team. Vikings minus 5.5. Colts plus 3.5. AR and Jonathan Taylor rushing overs. Jonathan Taylor and AR anytime touchdown. Breece Hall rushing over, or Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams receiving over. This is another one, like I said. Do we like Colts give up something? Do they give up the rush or the pass this week? I haven't figured it out just yet, so I'm going to give out both and be okay with being wrong with the other and being right with the other one. Just can't figure out which. Devon Achane receiving over. Devon Achane's reception over as long as it's under 5.5. Jonnu Smith or Tyreek Hill overs. I'm still undecided fully there on who I like. Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. That's probably it for that game. Ravens minus 3 and the Steelers special, which is Baltimore Ravens to win the first half. Pittsburgh Steelers to win in regulation. We got over 48.5 and 49ers Seahawks. Christian McCaffrey rushing over, receiving over, and anytime touchdown. I think he's going to get a little bit of a trifecta for the boy. Kansas City Chiefs plus 2.5. Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Hopkins, James Cook, Josh Allen. Anytime touchdown for all those guys. I'll probably take DeAndre Hopkins receiving over as well, especially if it's around the 4.5 number and the 40 yards that it is at, because he's going to get probably about 5 for 50 or 60 every single game. So if I can get that number at 40, I love it. Chargers, money line, Loudon McConkey or Quentin Johnson, anytime touchdown. Both those guys I'll probably end up taking. Chase Brown or Jamar Chase, anytime touchdown. Going to take both those guys, but just don't know if I want to go in the air or the ground. Then you've got the Texans minus 7.5. Joe Mixon's rushing over. Joe Mixon, anytime touchdown. Joe Mixon, 2 times touchdown. And if Nico Collins healthy, probably going to take a few of his stats. Man. Now we got him. Now it's time for college football. Some games I'm just interested in this weekend. I'll just bring up some games because, like I said, I only got 5 of them things for you this weekend, so I'll just bring about some games I want to talk about. Just because I do have a few of them saved, don't I? Yes. I am giving out that game. We got Ohio State, Northwestern, Clemson, Pitt. We got Tennessee, Georgia. That's going to be a big game. Oregon, Wisconsin. I gave out one of my bad soups. Cincinnati, Iowa State. That's going to be a potentially big game. BYU, Kansas. BYU only minus 2.5 favorites. Feels weird. I think that's actually going to become another bet of mine. So is it going to let me look up BYU, or is it? I guess I gotta look up Kansas. Hold on. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're about to get to the bets here in a second. I gotta see this number. Kansas State versus Arizona State. That's gonna be a big game as well. BYU minus 2.5 is tempting. We might have a last minute ad. But yeah, past that, like I said, it's a small, quieter weekend. I've got Texas, Arkansas, Tulane Navy will actually be a pretty huge game as well. Especially if that's some college football, 12th seed on the line. But yeah, we got some weird games. I mean, like LSU, Florida, 4.5. That's a decent one. But Alabama, Mercer, weird. Texas A&M, New Mexico. That's a bit of a weird game, but might be sneaky. I mean, there's just not the best slate of games. So, like I said, we got 6 bets for you now after BYU minus 2.5. So we got BYU minus 2.5 over Kansas. I'm not gonna be shocked if they lose this game. It just feels fishy. Only minus 2.5 for BYU at home. I know Kansas looked really, really good last week, but feels fishy, especially I know BYU almost lost last week as well, so that's something to keep an eye on. But it's gonna be a fun game. I just can't get over how fun this game's gonna be, and it's at 10 p.m. Eastern, so you can bet I ain't gonna be watching the end of it because it'll probably end at 2 a.m. again. Oregon minus 14.5 is plus 100. If I can get this at... I'm going to give out the minus 14, but 14.5 is whatever. I think they win this game by about 17 against Wisconsin. That's basically... I think they win this game by about 17. So the fact that it's 14.5 is okay with me. Like I said, the only thing that I'm fear of is they pack it in, park the bus for the Big Ten Championship. We got Boise State minus 13.5 against San Jose State. They were kind of sleepwalking last game. I don't think they were fully... I don't know. It was just way too close of a game. I feel like they're going to make this game not as close, especially for the fact that... I'm not saying the college football playoffs hopes are on the line, but it might come down to them and 2 other teams. And if they just blow out... If they get like 2 or 3 wins out of they have 3 games left, 2 of these are blowouts. I think it kind of be like, okay, let's just get them boys in, not even worry about it anymore. So Boise State minus 13.5. Notre Dame minus 22.5 against Virginia. Man, this feels disgusting. But they've been blowing some teams out lately. They've been getting better, I'll admit. They've been getting better over the weeks. I haven't bet on them in a while, and it's quite a weekend. So it's like, hey, why not bet on my boys? They're coming off a massive win against FSU where they just blew the doors off them. And now they have Virginia coming into town. If that defense can stay sturdy like it has been, I like for them to win this game by close to that number. But like I said, this is so big, I won't be... If you don't want to take it, I don't blame you. I won't be shocked if it doesn't cover, but I do think they win this game by probably about close to 30-ish. Jacksonville State, they're taking on FIU. Their last game was way too close. It was honestly a scare. They almost lost it. Oh, shit. You know how it goes when the dogs be barking, and we aren't betting on the dogs, so it's actually kind of scary. Give me, like I said, Jacksonville State minus 13.5 against FIU. I think they're having a bounce-back performance. They let last game be way too close, and I think 1 or 2 losses, they're out of their conference championship game, so I don't think they want to mess around anymore. I think this game's going to be a pretty big blowout. Last game on the slate, sorry about that. The dogs wouldn't shut up. Colorado minus 11.5 over Utah. I think they just win this game by about 14. Might be close at first, but I think this ends up becoming a close... I think they're able to get up past 2 touchdowns towards the end, and then I think it just becomes not an issue, not a sweat anymore. Colorado now controls its own destiny into the playoff as well, so I think they're going to be super up, juiced, and ready. Utah's going to be coming in hot and pissed off after a loss, so Colorado's going to have to be ready to play. I think Deion will get them boys ready to play, and I'm very excited to watch Colorado cover this game. And I'm probably going to take some stuff on Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter as well in the game. That's all I got for you, man. BYU minus 2.5, Oregon minus 14, Boise State minus 13.5, Notre Dame minus 22.5, Jacksonville State minus 13.5, and Colorado minus 11.5. Woo! Got some fun stuff planned for you next week. Can't wait to talk about it. Hopefully you're going to have 3 episodes next week. And then the week after that, might have 3. Might have 2 different guests on. Very excited about that. But before we get to there, we have a great football weekend to watch. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. Really do appreciate it. Kick it off with some Thursday Night Football tomorrow with Eagles Commanders. Going to be a fun, exciting game. And man, I'm honestly very excited. This is going to be a fun weekend of football. College isn't the biggest and best slate, but they have some important games there that really matter for the playoffs. And even if this isn't the best, NFL got to Sunday. And hey, AR is back, baby. The Colts are back. I'll see everybody back on Tuesday in this feed when the Colts have a win over the Jets. And, man, I don't know about all that. I won't lie. The last part, I don't know if the Colts will be able to beat the Jets, but I'm very excited to watch that game. And, man, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for support. And I'll see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday. If you want to check out Captain by a Hook with the Red Beard tomorrow, I'll be appearing on my boy Rowan's show to give out some more bets and talk some more sports.